think the last time I was kind of looking into coming with you, but then I got scared off because of the political situation out
Next
there.
Next time.
We'll see.
Next time, I'm really hoping that one day you'll come.
One day.
Because it is a good fun once you're there.
Ethiopians go about their daily lives in the capital. A deep political crisis is being discussed behind closed doors. A wave of protests have been swelling across the Oromia and Amhara regions since 2015, strongholds of the two largest ethnic groups in the country. Many have been killed in the government crackdown that followed. It's largely the youth who've been leading the protests. They say they feel disenfranchised, not represented by the government.
Hi, I don't think, I have any more news, but the minute I found something, I've checked the Foreign Office advice on traveling to Ethiopia, and that road is still blocked at the moment, and once I get some news from the people that I'm going with, then I should tell you if it's go ahead or not.
I like it. It's a good, rewarding sort of specialty. I got into it because one of our relatives had an eye surgery, and then it seemed like quite an interesting specialty when I was a fifth-year medical student. So yeah, no, it's a good specialty in my opinion, because you're very independent. So most of the procedures are done under local anaesthetic. So you don't have any dependency on the anaesthetist or the beds. So if there's a bed crisis in the hospital, we can still comfortably get on and treat the eye. It's technically very challenging because everything is very fine and sort of very precise. So that really appeals to me. And yes, it's interesting, rewarding, independent. It's a great specialty, and with very big impact factor for the surgery. So the impact of restoring the eyesight is massive.
So it's a new challenge, and it's a bit of a break from the daily routine. So it's all very exciting.
Okay, apparently the state of emergency has been imposed and it will be in place for 6 months. At the moment, we'll see if we can travel in Addis Ababa, and from there, apparently the roads are blocked.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome all our passengers, Shiba Miles Platinum and Star Alliance Gold members aboard Ethiopian Airlines.
All international airport, this is a slip for welcoming, otherwise I can't go inside. I had to come in, before 6. Yeah.
And so you get that from the ministry?
Yeah, here, Parliament office.
So is everything peaceful? No trouble?
No trouble.
And then it came to road okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it is.
We had a little
bumpy.
bubble with Ergeti.
Yeah. Did you?
False alarm. I thought it would be too much at stake for us to cancel 3 weeks of my
Of course.
leave from work.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
75% they speak Afan Oromo. 75% for business sake.
Speak Amharic.
Yeah, because it is originally Oromo land.
So originally it was Oromo.
Yes, it is not Addis Ababa. It was Finfinne. Finfinne is Oromo word. It is Oromo land. But Addis Ababa was later named by the king, Menelik's wife, the queen. Yes, this area is Addis Ababa, means new flower. Addis means new. Ababa means flower, new flower. Because she found the place flat and also flowery. So, Suta.
Suta.
Suta is very important.
The rights,
It is.
Very, very
equality, rights.
You make fast change.
State of emergency. It's the second time in
I can see- I
Ethiopia.
can
Yeah, we have our nurses. He is the only cataract surgeon.
But there's other two nurses who will do screening.
Yeah, they are.
The general plan is that we travel to
ልክ ነው
Nepal.
የዚህ ኦፕቶሜትሪክ
There's a main
ጉዳይ
hospital
አንተ
in the capital, and
በደንብ
then
እንትን
there's a small
በልልና
outreach
እንግዲህ አሁን
clinics
ለምን
in the
ልንቀጥል
nearby
እናስባለን
villages. And then we hopefully establish a base in the main hospital where we will be operating. But then we'll go to the small outreach places to help the two nurses who are screening, to help them to screen and select patients
ልክ
and
ነው
maybe treat simple procedures in the villages, but bring the complex ones to the center in the
እሺ
capital.
እሺ how they just tackled the Italian occupation, and that is most outstanding history in Africa. So that is why almost all Africans they are using the flag now, almost the color, the Ethiopian color flag.
Really?
Yes, black color.
As a sign of
Yes,
independence.
freedom, independence.
But it's very similar to the Italian flag.
They didn't.
Hello.
But now we are best friends.
With Italians?
Yes, really. Yeah.
So when I was there 10 years ago, half of our patients had no shoes, simple thing as that, and the on the streets you could see that the overall the wealth of population has definitely and the social standing has definitely improved. 10 years ago there's no regular ophthalmology service, whereas now there's a well-established ophthalmology clinic. So I think we've moved on from the time when we're providing sort of firefighting with just emergency service provision to now the improving the establishing, creating the infrastructure that which will be sustainable and sort of provide looking long term rather than just sort of short term firefighting.
Are you?
14 years
Great,
old.
pleasure.
Photo nama kaasan immoo. Hingashu nama waraaba. Do you have some questions for the...
No, how are you feeling about your son?
Yommuu mucaan keessan kun akkas karaa kanarra
He's
isinitti
working
godhe isin
hard.
dubbisu amma mucaa keessan ta'e maaltu isinitti dhaga'ama?
Gammachuu hamanii jiru.
Dhugaa? Yeah.
What is she saying?
Marvelous happiness. Yeah. Marvelous.
Waaqayyoo garuu maal godhu?
Yeah.
He's a clever boy, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't have father.
Yeah. I have no words to express my happiness. Yeah. Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
No, we're going
Baguma
to
fayyaa
go to
taatanis.
work now.
Fayyaadha miti hojiinis jiruuf jireenyis. Gimbiidhaan amma gidduu kana as turra. Gimbii tura. Elaame as turra giddii kana. Egaa inni yeroo fudhatee isin dubbisuu danda'a. Ijammoo dhaqaa ilaalama. Isumatu ilaala. Amma immoo isheenis ni ilaalti. Hakiimiin jaadha. Biyya alaatii dhufte isheen biyya Ingilizii dhufanii. Innis inni kun isheen kunis. Inni kun nama waraabuu hin gashu.
What are you saying?
I say he's known for recording. Both are coming from UK. So she is helping Miss Gano and he is helping her, I think. Yes. Akkas.
Achi waan dhufaa.
Thank you. Good to see
Jiraadha,
you.
jiraadha. Okay, here's the army. I can see the army. Guys.
further to the center.
No, this is
Nyanza chitera
there is a
na
glass
mangeza
in
mbai
this
male
one.
mangolu.
Body.
With a tanker here, body.
So this is the town of Gimbi.
Yes. We entered into the town after 110 kilometers.
Or 12 o'clock Ethiopian time.
1 o'clock Ethiopian local time. Jalagali Charu charu.
So basically under the international time display, it's 7 o'clock in the evening, but under the Ethiopian way of displaying time, it's only 1 o'clock. Okay. We are in paradise. Okay, here it is. We made it in Gimbi and finally got a hotel. Let's see if we can film this way. On top of that was perhaps one of the challenging, the most challenging sort of meal, and it is what, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Let me see if my phone tells me, and I don't have any signal on the phone. I didn't have a few days now. So no carriers, they come and disappear, so you have to catch the moment when you can get mobile telecommunication. I'm tired, long journey, and what can I say? The room looks like somebody's died here before, and it's next to one of the main motorway. You cannot close the windows, and the noise is coming in, so I think it's going to be a big challenge tonight. But I'll tell you in the morning. Last night I slept 4 hours. It was 3 hours actually. As expected, of course, the light got cut off. They have very shabby generators with sending a very fluctuating electricity current, and we have to be careful. Most of the equipment gets burned out. I'm not sure how Dr. Shohista is going to do all the operation, because she requires, for some of the microscope, she requires electricity. So I'm just going to try to find now the buttons on my camera so I can switch it back on. Oh, the light is back on. The electricity came back on. Unbelievable. Even the camera is not using so much brightness. So pretty much try to have a shower. I had a shower with cold water. Finally the electricity came back. Cold water, but because of the electric wires all over the bathroom, it's quite afraid to get electrocuted in the shower. I cannot charge any of the phones, cameras or anything at the moment, because that's my electricity in the wall. As you can see it, perhaps you can see it. And that's my light up. I got another one there put it, so that cuts off from time to time. So I have to wait until the morning, see if we can find a different hotel with a little bit better security perhaps. I mean, the security it's not my main concern at the moment. At least for a few days. Apparently now the situation is quite calm here. Even so, when you go in town, you have this feeling of continuously, almost like a revolution is going to explode any other time, any minute, because the people are not very happy here, particularly the youngsters who are at that age, 16 to 20 something. Some of them go to schools, universities, some of them, have social media, listen radio, foreign channels, and it's nothing for them to do. It's unemployment, major unemployment, no hopes, no future, and apparently a very corrupt government. So that's a major problem for a majority of the population at the moment here in Ethiopia. Again, I'm looking forward for tomorrow to work with Dr. Shohista and the colleagues from here from Ethiopia. And to screen upon it, they got at least now about 3,000, 4,000. And to screen them and start to operate, not tomorrow, but I think on Thursday they start to operate. And listen some stories and see what the locals think about that. All the best. See you in the morning. Good night, everyone. I'm absolutely knackered. Slept for 2 hours. That's the noise that was outside my window. It's impossible to cancel it. There's a single sheet of window separates me from this enormous road where tuk-tuks, trucks, and everything pass by. You can hear the calls for prayers and millions of dogs. And here it is. Now it's 7 o'clock. It's a new day starting. Slept a couple of hours and move on. So here's the best part. Today is no water at all. I need to wash. So, of course, I got this 1 centimeter piece of cloth, which I normally wet wipes, which I use for cleaning my lens because of this continuous dust. So today it's my shower. From different places. My sister. Hi, Kippe, bagagamane. Congra. Yeah. Amaro ali hunduman nabilbila ture alkan. Yeah, congra. Okay. Oh, it is really good news, not only for me, not only for these Oromo people. It is for Ethiopia, for the world. It is good news. So the election of the Prime Minister of Ethiopia is over now. Dr. Abiy Ahmed is elected Prime Minister of Ethiopia. So we are happy because he is from the majority ethnic group, and he is also really an Ethiopian person, and we are happy. People are favoring him. I heard he is elected. We are in Gimbi now. You people from UK, you are lucky because you came here and now you have heard this good news. This shows us you are lucky. Luck is with you and with us. The elections in Ethiopia just finished. They got a new prime minister, and the prime minister it is part of the majority. The problem they had in Ethiopia before is that the ex-prime minister was part of just a minority, and the majority of the population in Ethiopia was not represented in any decisions taken economically or politically, and was suffering massively, and that's why the unrest of the past few years, and particularly the past few months, where, as you'll see again, once we travel, burn cars, lots of people killed, army, police killed, some civilians, and particularly in here where we live at the moment, which was one of the center point for unrest. Buongiorno.
How you doing? I had a bucket shower.
So I washed with the
Tissues.
from the camera. I wash the camera normally. So they are 1 centimeter
And you had the whole
each,
packet of them.
all of them. So I use piece by piece of my body to wash it.
Well, my shower is exploded. There's no water coming
Yeah,
from
that's
the shower
exactly.
anyway.
It's electrics hanging from it, so you're
Oh,
afraid.
but it's got an explosion. It's got like black ceiling.
Oh, it's
An explosion.
because
So-
the water hit the shower. That's why you're afraid to.
So there's
you
nothing
should
there
not
at all.
use
There's just buckets. If you switch on, there's nothing coming. So I think the head is even gone.
But I went with no water to bed, and I didn't want to wake any of you up to go to the car to take some water. So I washed my teeth with Coca-Cola.
I still defeated the purpose. No, I had a little bit of water.
No. So.
Well, that's why we bought the whole bucket of
Yeah.
water. So we should make sure that we
Well, I
get 2-3
forgot.
bottles in our bag. all the
So I
time.
had Coca-Cola, a can of Coca-Cola, Don't worry, move on. But have you heard of election? The prime minister from their area won, so now the majority is represented. That was the whole fuss celebrating when I wake up to record it.
The plan is to go to the hospital. I think they've opened up the boxes, see what we've got, what we haven't got. Hopefully everything has arrived, so we'll start screening. So there's about apparently 2,500 people waiting. So we'll see what sort of patients arrive and just see. But the main purpose is to teach the guys to develop a system of screening and sort of identify who will benefit from cataracts. At the moment, they're operating if they just got cataract, but they don't really discriminate the ones who will benefit cataract surgery and the ones who won't. So simple things like checking pupils, see whether there's any potential closure at the back of the eye. So it's just basically to take them to the next step so they can be very selective about who will have surgery.
Big congrats in my life.
In your
This,
life.
yeah, in my life, in life of my people also.
So
Yeah.
it's a big moment for
Yes,
everyone.
yeah, in Ethiopians'
Around
life.
here, yeah.
You know, this is the first time Ethiopian Oromo has become a prime minister.
Right.
And the second, the vice prime minister is from Amara.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the same person who was prime minister before.
Ah, so the former prime minister now became vice president.
No, he's still vice president. He continued to be vice president.
Ah, so he was vice president.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is the first time in
So
history.
that'll be a balance between Oromia and Amhara, yeah?
Yeah.
Very good.
Sagalee
Very
dhibbaaf
good.
saddeeti dha.
Yeah?
Dhibbaaf saddeeti.
Okay.
Meeqa keessaa akka ta'e hin beeku. Ganaan waan baay'ee dhageenyaadha. Addanaan dhoowwite jecha warra komaan.
You know what that means, no?
That means peace.
That means peace.
Peace. Happiness. Happiness
That
index.
means peace.
Oh.
Yeah, you know the young Oromo people. If it didn't happen, they were ready to join the jungle.
The jungle.
Yeah,
Illegal movement, yeah.
yeah, legal movement. And then fighting. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
fighting,
We-
bloodshed.
We saw the streets of the Kempty Marsh. That was
You saw the youth. Yeah,
that
the young
was,
people.
was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
stag of ready to let him go.
Yeah.
This is our hotel.
This is your
Our
hotel.
So anyway. Yeah. I cannot. It's the noise. It's the thing.
But we'll discuss that.
We'll discuss. You will discuss
Yeah.
with him.
I think it's important to see what equipment you have, what you sort of.
We have all
What
equipment,
works,
I
what-
think. We have
yeah?
all equipment, all needed for eye
That's
surgery.
perfect,
Yeah. They are building something. They are trying to improve the building. We are in Gimbi Health Station now, where you are going to stay for 1 week for the campaign. People are waiting for you. As I heard, 2,500 people registered so far, but we hope 5,000 will be registered now.
It was really good to be in Gimbi and try to help some of the people that were waiting for us already. There were queues, there were exceeding 2,500 people, all on different lists, trying to be helped by, and desperate to be helped by Dr. Shohista and the local team. The building that was given to us was an X8 building, unwashed for years, and definitely there were no facilities for toilet or washing, so the 2,500 people were using outside space near our windows as public toilet.
They have to open and refresh. Suffocated.
And that,
This is where we stay.
what's in that?
What?
What's in that room?
في كان والفن فتقالني هنا.
Yes, she's looking for key.
Surgery.
That one is for preparation.
So we'll be doing operations here. This is what? This is examination room.
No. Surgery.
This is operation room. Someone has to come and clean the room, wash the floors, clean the room, the operating theatre, so we can start opening up. Rose, are you going to stay or shall we take logistics?
How they are registered, how they are arranged. Let us check first, and then go into, what
We need to
can do.
establish a system of how
Of
to
course.
examine 2,500 people.
Yeah. What?
No, that's the window for the room. This one.
There's no running water.
Is there running water here?
Huh?
There must be water here.
Yeah, but I would not touch it. Look how dirty they've been there for. Whatever. But I can see the switches now. But they're not plugged in. So they must know how the system. Oh, what is that? That's the bird's nest. Okay.
No, we need a debrief first. Everyone has to get in, who has to come.
Yeah.
The hospital staff have to come and say hello. Where are they?
Yeah, they will come. I asked the staff here how they arranged, and they said today 500 people will be screened.
What time is going?
Yeah, of course.
We can't see
Of course,
500
Miss
people.
Garo, he just not paying to me. He's not paying attention to me. He's paying attention to the activities. He's pushing, pulling chairs,
But what is
tables.
he pushing? Where?
In the other rooms.
Well, let's go and see him then.
In fact, definitely it will take us a bit longer than expected to get into the mind frame of Africa, where everybody's running left, right, and center, and 2,000 people are trying to be helpful, but in fact, nobody knows where the staff are, who is going to help us.
Total chaos. It's usually always like that.
We have another room, but no lights.
I want to speak to the head doctor. Where's the head doctor? The hospital. But I haven't seen anyone. It's just everyone's running around. We need system. We need sort of started doing it.
Let me communicate again.
Can we get everyone into one room? Decide on the plan? Because otherwise at the moment it's total chaos. And we're going to lose time. Because if we are to see 500 patients today, we need to get plan, we need to organize. And we need to clean the rooms first.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, excellent. So shall we all get together and sit in one room?
They lost the key. How do we start and where to start?
Where we start?
Yeah.
So at the moment it's such a big chaos. We cannot work. So we need to get all patients out into that area. All patients get out, move the chairs, get them out of the breathing space.
Yeah.
This room needs to be cleaned. That has to come up. Just take all of this away. Nice, clean everything. Someone. And then when they come and get ready here, you've already got a piece of paper, you've got all the information. You put dilating drops.
I have said at the beginning we have arranged with Ghana. We have communicated with him. One person will register new comer, and
that person from your hospital, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You will arrange the patient who are present in front of this room.
Okay.
And then we will help you by as much as possible by what you have asked us.
Do you think this room is convenient for this work, clean cleanliness and situation?
Well, I'm sure they've given us what they can give us.
Yeah.
So you don't have. This is probably a good room there. If you feel that this is the only room you want to give to ophthalmology when they come every year, then we'll just work with this. But next year maybe you will have more resources to, let's say, do up the windows. So with the floor, for example, we can remove this thing because you've got a nice marble floor there. We just clean the floor, yeah? So if you ask the cleaners to clean the floor, that would be great. Just to start with today.
We will inform these people that only 500 people will be served today. The rest have to go back and come tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Because people cannot read, especially of this old age, they cannot read. We have to tell them, 1 up to 500 only, they have their cards.
So with the theatre, we don't have any operating table and we don't have any running water. So because we need water to wash instruments and autoclave, we need that, don't we? How are we going to work that? So there's no right, we're going to wash with buckets, yeah? Okay. Are you happy with that? So it'll be 3, 4, 5 steps. So when I have the patient, they've already had vision, pressure, subjective refraction, dilated, and I check the cataract, and then we decide surgery or treatment. Excellent. So if we move forward, yourself will be in charge of moving patients. Is that right? Yeah. Can you give us any statistics tomorrow?
Warana kana ijaare qaama ijaarsise yoo gaafannee ta'i har'aan booda boobu achitti naanna'uu dandeenya ta'i just minor things.
Amma ijaarsichi Haraareef ijaaramutti jira. Harkaan fuunee nuni jechuudha. Ijaarsi sana harkaan fuunee harkaan sirrakkan. Fayyadamaa fi isaa jechuun nu rakkisa jechuudha. Simiti. Gaafattanii jechuudha. Qaama ijaaraa jiru sana immoo gaafattanii kominikeetii godhanii waliin galama yoo ta'e rakkoon qabu.
As jiru sana immoo.
Isa kana waan miidhuu rakkan.
Harka kan hojjennu boorachinaa
kan Tanani,
I've come up with a new proposal.
AXOEBAUAX. Very good.
Very good indeed. Just use this as a shelf, yeah? Discover alcohol, something. It's a good in there. Just use it as a shelf.
Maybe they try.
I didn't bring air freshener. Otherwise, air freshener would have been for the rooms. Waan isinitti himuu barbaannu warra gara skirtanis akka dhaggeeffadhaa. Usaa takka callisaa garas takka wal dhaggeeffannaa. Inni kun bulti 5 bulti 7 iyyuutti fufa waan ta'eef otoon fixiin hin galan isaan otoon fixiin hin galani dhukkubsataa kamiyyuu dhiisanii hin galan garuu yeroo keessanitti fayyadamaa. Tokko kaasee hamma 500 kaardii keessan ilaalladhaati as tura. Warri haftan galaa borkoottaa warri kaan immoo ftaan koottaa warri galmoofne immoo dhaqaa galmaa akka kanaan itti fufna waliin danqinu karaan banaa haa ta'u waaqayyo nu gargaaru waaqayyo nu eebbisu si wajjin haa ta'u.
So when I examine patients, what do I write? Where do I write?
All this wonderful mass of people that you see here, they all just slept overnight here. They are from the surrounding areas. We're talking about 2,000 to 3,000 people perhaps, all desperate to get a bit of medical help, to have their eyes checked, to have a cataract operated. And they haven't seen each other for at least a year or perhaps many more years. They all somehow know each other, and for them this is a social event as much as coming to see the doctor. So asking them to move or be quiet, it's almost impossible. Imagine not seeing your relative for many years.
So all of this will be empty. Check the vision, then we sit here. Yeah, but how are you going to check the vision?
Let them tell you the experience.
So if they need something else, I can do. And I can teach Muscani what else to do. Not do that.
I have a spare power cord for my camera, so you take the end. Let's hope nobody moves the table now, because that thing is going to fall out.
How about nasally? How about superiorly? How about temporally?
So temporarily is more.
Yeah. And superiorly?
Nasally not.
Are you sure?
If it's a disc ratio 0.7.
Okay. What else on the disc? The vessel's normal or not?
Central.
This is central because all the way involved, and it's fresh.
Okay.
And it's fresh, that's why you've got fresh hemorrhages everywhere.
The left one. Hojjetamu fi isaanii kun operation haa ta'uu fi organaa fiddee dhufta. Organaa fiddee dhufta. Organaa sa'aatii lamatti fiddee dhufta. Gatii operation kaffalta. Ilaala gurra ishee ilaala isa garasi. Jessa sana gasaa balaan
Is this, what does this mean? Light projection?
Light perception.
Light projection good? If it's good, we'll do cataract. If it's not good, then we don't do
If
cataract.
projection is good,
We could do cataract. She's got full cataract. Yeah. If you don't mind just writing, like you're writing in some patients.
This is just only through the Oromifa. That's why I don't understand her. She talk only Oromifa. That's why I don't write.
you know.
With she has cataract? I'm telling you, she has cataract. She has, I'm telling you. But usually we wait until later to do cataract surgery.
Now?
Later. Don't worry, I'll ask Miss Gans.
Mooraa qaba garuu amma hin bishaanne gaafa bishaatu how when should she come again?
Next year.
Waggaa isa dhufutti hin bishaataa mooraa kun isa booda isin bakka kaa'e.
It's a different population I'm working on compared to 10 years ago, you know? Okay, glasses. Reading glasses. Reading glasses.
In terms of what?
Yeah, we're seeing very few very advanced cataracts.
So you think they disappear?
People are genuinely coming. People are now coming complaining of difficulty reading. 10 years ago they were complaining of not seeing anything. It's a different pathology. He has hypertension. Yeah, I can see it.
Fundus is normal.
No. Fundus is not normal.
0.6.
Oh, no, hold on, sorry. No, this is normal. Look at the other one. So, that's enough.
This one?
Yeah. Find the disc.
It's a glaucoma patient.
I want to know what you're talking about.
This is a glaucoma patient. One has no vision. The other is 1 meter count finger. And we prescribe or we treated him with anti-glaucoma medication.
This is a very good patient. I want you to examine his leg. I'll only tell you the vision. 0.2.
Very good.
And we will do a little bit of sugar. Thank you.
She's a Chelsea supporter, look. You see? My team. This is my team. My team.
Chelsea's
My team.
Chelsea's Abramovich,
Yeah, everybody.
Abramovich.
Yeah. Abramovich. Yeah.
United.
Forever. United forever.
Yeah, united forever.
Manchester, not that.
Just ask him, is it worse in the winter or sunny now? Ask him, is it worse in the winter or in the summer? When it's flowering, yeah? Okay, so give him a week. Have you got any very weeks here? Just one month. Okay, twice a day.
Power is gone. What's wrong?
No, the connection is very loose.
So the film is burning.
Use in this one.
Yeah, this one.
Have you got a spare fuse?
We have.
You can't risk pure putting it straight through. You'll burn this one. It's because the power is there's stabilizer. So and because the electricity is uneven, that it's burned the fuse. So. He's reflecting each other.
That works. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What is it?
It works.
It's coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Miss Ganu.
Fixed.
And we are trying to entertain, but others are shouting. We were here the whole time. They were at home, and now it is our turn.
If we just appoint someone who takes the control of the order, that would be the best.
Yeah.
Because they're shouting non-stop.
I told them not to
And
shout. This is not a marketplace.
I said clear that area, so at least we have some breathing
You know,
space.
those who sit, it is okay, under the wall. They can sit. In queue, they can sit. Those who stand and wander about, they have to leave the place.
Oh, I can feel that coffee was good. Thank you. Huh?
Are you tired? Tired?
A little bit, yeah. Well, it's difficult not to get tired when there's so many showers.
Yeah.
As long as you are not using 2 rooms for operation, are you using?
Yes.
So why not you move this one to the other room? I have to go now.
You have to go. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I had what you had, rice, because I didn't want to.
It's
No
safe.
more meat.
It's very safe.
No, but I had enough.
Are you allowed? Not allowed.
This allowed for me.
Allowed? Okay. So I'll show you how to do it.
Tropical operation.
Entropy.
Can I just ask a very small question? Who knows what he does or not, if he does them anyway? If no other doctor wants to come here, who knows what he does or not?
I guess there's something goes wrong.
No, I'm just asking. Because if no other doctor wants to work in this area,
Exactly. That's the whole bottom
then
line.
why they interdict him to operate other bigger things?
Because I guess they worry that he might make things worse. But the point is that's the very my point that because he's the last point for most of these people. That it's better that he does something than not. I wonder whether it's some sort of special. Miss Gunner? Is there a special thing on the forehead? Has she got a special thing on the forehead? Is it an accident or special? Or designed?
It's a disease.
Disease? Accident, yeah?
Baas of Jannah is going to
At
It's a very deep bony defect in the frontal lobe.
There is infected and pus is drained from him. Right, son. Injuru? Injuru? Eish, ammu majra? Ammu majra? Ammu majra?
Who's writing this? Who's writing this?
Don't know.
Find out. There's only two here. Either, what's the name of the nurse? Talega?
Desali.
Desali. And the optometrist?
Henok.
So it's either him or him. So ask who it was and then count them and let them recheck the vision. Because I want them to learn, yeah? So that it's a big difference between light perception and no light perception. She has bilateral very dense cataracts with occluded pupils. She probably has chronic uveitis, and she's telling us that that's been for the last 3-4 years, and she's also got bilateral arthritis, so it's possible that she's got juvenile idiopathic arthritis with chronic uveitis and secondary cataracts. And unfortunately, it'll be very difficult to treat her without having investigated, for example, ultrasound. So.
How does the retina get detached? Is this an accident or just an infection or?
No, it's a rare condition that affects 1 in 10,000 people in the UK. So here we don't know the incidence, we can only assume that it might be similar. It affects people usually either very short-sighted people or people with over age of 60 or people with cataract surgery, but there's also a wide group of patients with different types of retinal degeneration or predisposed to retinal detachment. But again, it's very difficult to say without things like ultrasound and other investigations to see what exactly is wrong with the eye, because at the moment all we can see is the pupil is occluded and you can't see anything behind it. It's very sad.
Very sad.
Very sad, because she is clearly very upset, but for her, she doesn't go to Addis, that's the end. So they have to. Can you refer her as a patient to Addis to get some funding? Yeah?
Over in Nekam?
Yeah. Get some approved funding for her to go to Addis, yeah?
No fund.
No funding?
Yeah, no funding.
So if she doesn't find money, then that's it, the end?
But if from the village leader, they have a paper of...
From the village leader?
Yeah.
So did you tell him that? That he needs a paper from the village leader? Okay, sure. Good, okay. It's probably related to her sore joints.
And
it probably needs long-term treatment. But she has cataract. Probably as a result of the problem behind the cataract. Probably inflammation.
Inflammation. I don't know what explanation.
Inflammation. Inflammation. Okay. So I could try and remove the cataract. But I cannot promise that will improve the vision because I don't know what's behind the cataract. What does she want us to do?
She's in dilemma.
If you want us to try without any promise of improvement, then I can try. But if you prefer to go to Addis, then Miss Ghana will send you across to Addis.
Malaka si gonu barbada sin jeti opo gifti. Ayalam. Moti Maria terufta.
What is she saying?
She's not.
Okay.
She can't decide.
We're here till
Up to for one
week.
for 1 week.
1 week. So have a think and come and let us know.
We actually told you to want to go back to the home station. No, Jenna, we have a.
Is she? Okay.
Okay.
Good. The setting up theatre, there's nothing I can do at the moment, but I just want to make sure that the guys start seeing the outpatients, so maybe I can see a few outpatients while things are being set up. But there's like things like light bulb is missing in the anaesthetic room, so there's a few things to be organised. At the table that we had, operating table yesterday, disappeared somewhere, so I need to find that table. And we'll use that. Go straight into operating table. But clean it first. Second week. Have you got the second week?
One is the car.
So this is for the food, the stuff that we bought yesterday. No, they just get up. You push them up. Very good microscope. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, table is squinted, so we need to straighten the table. Gosh. This is super luxury. Good. Okay. No, how do you make the tunnel? Tunnel. No, the tunnel, scleral incision tunnel. Yeah. Okay, alcohol. We need alcohol. Malaco? Banana, no banana?
No banana. I give better. Fatira.
Patira, okay. But banana you bring?
No banana.
On the street? No?
No banana. No banana.
Olive? Olive?
Dr. Shohista, you want to talk to me a little bit and tell me...
So this is the anesthetic block. So it's a block that we don't use in the UK. It's used a sharp needle. So it's retrobulbar block. So to put a bit of lignocaine behind the eyeball. So and for it to evenly disperse through the orbit, we put a bit of pressure. So and the pressure is just a simple improvisation, just a bit of tennis ball with a tight band around the eye. And leave it for about 10-15 minutes for the block to work, and then we'll take it through. So we're starting with the local surgeon, local nurse is starting to operate. We have sharps. So that can go in there with the sharps. Safety box.
5%.
Yeah. You need to mix. Both mix, okay?
This is for eyelid.
Yeah, sure. And you can. That's. I think that's sterile inside. Ms. Ghani is the cataract nurse surgeon. Desilang is the scrub nurse, and Naragi is the runner. So
what do we know about the patient?
So patient is cataract patient, first eye procedure, perception of light vision, and Isanga is going to show us the class. Yeah, he's done many of those, and I'll look at how his technique is, and I probably will learn something. This is your own microscope, yeah? This is your own microscope? Yeah, very good. Excellent. Superb. You need phenylephrine. Draw up phenylephrine. Pupils bleeding. Oh, are you happy with that? Look at the coatry, it's brilliant. Excellent. And it's just a rubber, isn't it? You just put the rubber. It's very good.
You do the same in England? You have a big file?
I think in 1960s they used to do that. There's no measurement of the lens, so everyone gets a very standard lens, which means everyone pretty much after surgery has some degree of refractive error, because lens is estimated, not calculated. So after surgery they do see better than they do with just as a perception of light, but never as well as they would have if they had calculated and accurately measured lens. So, and the glasses, as you saw outside, is a bit of a problem. Well, for starters, they didn't have cataract surgeon nurses at that point, so this in itself is a big improvement. Most patients are using public transport, so public transport was a big problem. So when we went to the first camp in Baharda 10 years ago, most patients walked 200 miles on foot to come for surgery, and they would set a week before. So whereas now most people come by bus and go home in the same day, so it's a big improvement in infrastructure, in individual income. So no, there's definitely been a positive change in Ethiopia, and it's very good to see. Now he's taken the lens out, now he's putting the intraocular lens. Very nice and tidy. Did you do IE? Did you do simple irrigation aspiration? The problems are just a lot simpler and a lot more addressable in many respects. But they're bigger at the same time, so I don't think there's a simple answer, but it's a different environment. Do doctors from Addis come and help?
Here?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Yeah. How often?
Well, maybe one in every year.
Once a year. Same doctors or different doctors?
Same doctor.
Same doctor. One doctor comes, yeah? Cataract surgeon?
No, it's ophthalmologist.
No, but ophthalmologist, cataract specialty or what specialty?
No, it's not specialized in cataract.
He's general surgeon.
He's general surgeon.
So what kind of operations does he do? Right, who's the next patient? I'll take phenylephrine then. Can you bring tropicamide, yeah? Tropicamide.
Doctor, that was my spare toothbrush. all this surgery, all this procedure are pretty much on national health almost. So they are not paying.
No, they are paying.
They are paying.
They are paying. They're paying for the lens. They're paying 900 for the lens, unfortunately.
For the lens, but they're not paying for the actual surgery, are they?
I think they're paying for disposables, essentially. They're paying for the medication, for the lens, for the suture material, because that's so the charity that is self-funded. So, and I didn't want to upset the system too much, because if you don't charge patient one time and then his neighbor gets charged and they all get offended, so we just go along with that. That's how it works. That's how it's sustainable, because otherwise it won't be sustainable to provide the service. No electricity or generator in? It's coming? Coming, yeah? No, this is capsule forceps. We wait, yeah? No, wait. We don't. No, I can't see. I can start, but just in case if electricity doesn't come up, it's better not to start. Just wait. Otherwise, once we've opened the eye, we'll have to really finish it. It has been known to finish the operation with just a torchlight. I've been to a few places. I've been to the Jerusalem West Bank. I've been to the Burma. I've been to Turkish-Syrian border. And every time it's heartbreaking. Obviously, if there was an open conflict, that would be different. But there isn't an open conflict. There's just a friction between the political groups, and I have no political affiliations. I'm quite happy just to, oh yeah, light is here.
It is just taking a break for lunch. You still can hear the noise from outside. There are about 400 patients still left. Yesterday they done 20 operations, cataract. Today they hope for another 20. So they got another 2 weeks to go through it. But because it's no organizational form here, so somehow you had to drop the camera and I become the screener, the guys who put the drops in, the dilates the eyes, filmmaker and nurse and operating theater staff, and in an environment that makes absolutely no sense to anyone. This is supposed to be like a little town, but it's not a town. It's not even a village by Western standard. It's got these kind of shacks that are sort of named hospital or operating things, and the window next to the operating thing is next to outdoor toilets which are overblocked and everything. So everybody's doing his needs outside the operating theater's windows. It makes no sense, but somehow everybody seems to survive, or majority survive. Infections, the immunity is so developed that they don't have many. Definitely it's improved. I was talking to Dr. Shohista. From 6 years ago, when she came, almost nobody had shoes in these kind of small towns or villages. Now almost everyone had. And 6 years ago, pretty much everyone had, they had toes missing and everything from infection, amputations and the rest. Now very rarely you see it, a couple of women or men without shoes. What is fascinating, we just saw this morning, some of the women and men, they arrived, they walked for 25 kilometers. On foot. They're 80 years old, and they walk 25 kilometers just to have this operation done to them. Definitely, it is beautiful. The smile they have, the respect they have, wonderful, wonderful people. But the world is just such an unjust. unjust place where poverty like this is just even impossible to describe. But what it is wonderful to describe is the clean soul these people have, because they have these beautiful smiles all the time. It doesn't matter how hard life is, they still find time for a little smile. And I admire them for that. And I admire actually the people in Ethiopia for being so friendly, so welcoming. Yes, you still feel the army presence everywhere, you still feel the police brutality everywhere, you feel that people are aware of this, checkpoints everywhere, and still locals tell me, put the camera down. But as they say in Ethiopian, Gari means good. So yes, it's very Gari.
One piece for one person.
One piece for one patient, okay? So you put... No? No surgery? Injury? Injury? No injury, no surgery. No injury? Right eye injury. Injury. Left eye? No. Right eye. No, left eye has had something done. Is it either injury or surgery? Not possible. Not possible. You either had injury or surgery in that left eye. On right eye? No, left eye. Left eye either had injury or surgery. Oh, it's a blind eye because of the injury.
So nothing really cannot be solved.
But it's even in the UK we couldn't do anything because it's just a bad injury. Caused too much damage.
So here the most incredible, now it's almost perhaps impossible to see, but we just got hit by a sandstorm, and now it's enormous rain. They just fall down onto the place where we live. Torrential rain, which hasn't been for some time, of course, in Ethiopia. The storm last night blew completely every generator in town. So it's no electricity, we cannot see anything, and of course we have now hot water, or I don't think it's going to be any way to be fixed. Normally it takes more than a day to be fixed. Here's the view from outside my hotel this morning. The rain has just stopped, and it seems that the car have started to travel, the four-wheel drives. Pretty much no other cars you see on the road but four-wheel drives. Nobody has electricity today, so we'll have to wait and see if we get any cooked breakfast. Actually, I'm not too bothered because I'll just have a couple of bananas, wild bananas, and that's it. And set perhaps on my way to the hospital, and then to Addis Ababa. The hospital has to do quite a lot of patients today. They still have a list of about 500 people to do. They've done 20 like yesterday, so it's about 480 left.
So now it's all looking good. All the bus stops are looking good. So 9 bus stops so far, the rest are coming later on, hopefully. Oh yeah, I'm worried that the room is still not open. Advanced glaucoma, that's what they present. Glaucoma is a disease of optic nerve caused by many reasons, and one of them is high pressure. So we can treat the high pressure, but the genetic component of it we can't treat. So in Ethiopia there's a pandemic incidence of soot exfoliation, very high incidence for whatever reason, and a lot of glaucoma is undiagnosed until it's far too late. Whereas in the UK, the optometrists screen most population and send them to the hospital early enough. They can actually prevent the loss of vision.
When she came yesterday, her vision is only see light perception. Now she is a post-op patient. Now she can see even at 2 meter count finger she can see.
Is that going to make a big difference for her life and what she does?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it. Because I can see she's got no shoes, so she must be quite poor from where she comes from. You know?
They came from 15 kilometers away from Imbi by foot. They came by foot, barefoot.
15 kilometers barefoot.
15 kilometers, yeah. 4 to 5 hours.
4 to 5 hours.
Zinnu.
To come and have their eyes examined. How you doing? I wanted to tell you there's one of the most unfair things I think is that there's a huge discrepancy in the quality of care that the people in different parts of the world receive. For no fault of and especially between obviously the first and third world countries. So if we close that gap, that would be fantastic somehow. But how can we close it when there's no workforce hydrodissection? And there's like some buses ready for you. Like some buses? No? No? How about lunch food? Quick lunch? Quick sambusa?
Yeah, that's what I would like, but unfortunately I need a translator. My Ethiopian is very limited. He's in lunch.
So, I think tomorrow we've got 5 patients with surgery, yeah? Yeah, so we do 5 operations and maybe screen a few more. And then in the afternoon we just concentrate on patients, outpatients, yeah? And then have a bigger list for the day after.
So first we screen with flashlight in the morning and the art.
So we operate only in the morning, okay? Because then in the afternoon it gets too hot there, doesn't it? Yeah, and then I'm just worried that it's a bit, the hygiene is not good because it all gets quite dirty. So in the morning when it's not too hot, it's better. Yeah, agree? So, and then in the afternoon, if we just get all the patients lined up, so when we come, we just see them quickly, yeah? But in the morning, the Heno can deal with glasses, so you can just get rid of patients with glasses. Yeah? So when they come, anyone with problem with reading glasses, they come straight to you, get the glasses. Yeah? Is that better? And then I think if we discuss the patients, then it's better for everyone. For you, because you could do the cataract without me, you could do screening without me, but seeing patients and discussing patients, you cannot do it. Yeah?
So we change?
We change slightly, do a surgery in the morning, and then in the afternoon they collect all patients, we line them all up here. Let's go.
Don't let me forget to give the money.
Oh, I don't think you will let us forget.
Okay.
I understood that Ergati has funded the mission in terms of the lenses and disposables, consumables. So today, between today and yesterday, we had about 10 people who left because they couldn't pay. And they didn't come. So today we've appointed people, but we only had 15 patients and we appointed 20 patients yesterday. And on the first day, the same 5 patients just left because they couldn't pay. So it's very difficult, you know, because if it looks as if I'm charging patients, which I'm not. So I think we need to come up with solution that this doesn't happen. He wants you to ask every patient whether they can afford to pay or not afford to pay. So if they say they cannot afford to pay, then we do the operation without charging them.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, even if they do charge for the operation, they have to charge for consumables, 150 for the lens, 75 for viscoelastic. What else is?
300 or 400 a bit.
Plus lignocaine, drop of cyclopropicamide. I mean, this is negligible. So even if you add all of it, 400 berries maximum, yeah? It shouldn't be 900. It will be another car which will take you from Nikemti to Addis.
Yeah?
There's still a lot of work to be done. The equipment that they have has no means of repair. So for example, some of the equipment that has been donated has not even been used because there's no one to set up. And some minor faults within the equipment and software cannot be addressed because there's no engineering support. The thing that bugs me the most is injustice. So I think it's not just that some people are born to have sort of pretty much everything, and the others are born. We saw children on the street, so they have no home to go to. They have no loving parents. They can't go to school. They have no access to healthcare at all. They eat sort of leftovers in the restaurants or in the cafes. So, and there's some people who have no access to basic sort of things like having cataract surgery. And it's all just really a lottery. Life is a lottery. So. And if everyone sort of chipped in a little bit and try and help the countries where there is a bit of just injustice and just use a bit less and give a bit more, I think that would be a better world. Is that like a powder you put?
Yeah, like
flour, yeah? Good.
Quay photograph.
Okay? Yes. Hey, nice. Nice. Excellent. Great.